Welcome to Fluent Minds, the sanctuary for those who believe that language is the bridge to a better version of themselves. You are not here just to learn English. You are here to re-engineer your mind and your future. By studying the greatest modern thinkers, we don't just expand our vocabulary, we expand our horizons. If you are hungry for growth, for mastery, and for a life designed by your own will, you are in the right place. Subscribe to this channel and let this be the start of your transformation. Today, we dive deep into a masterpiece that will change how you view your own abilities. Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Hidden Potential. The world is obsessed with innate talent. We are told from a young age that we are either born with a gift or we aren't. Adam Grant begins this book by shattering that myth. He argues that the true measure of your potential is not the height of your peak, but the distance you have traveled to get there. Success is not about where you start. It's about how much you grow. Grant introduces the concept of character skills, which are far more important than cognitive ones. These skills, like fortitude, discipline, and determination, are the engines that drive us forward. When you think you've reached your limit, you are actually just at the beginning of your hidden potential. This book is a roadmap for anyone who has ever felt overlooked or undervalued, proving that greatness is built, not born. Chapter 2. The Sponge Effect and Proactive Learning. To unlock what is hidden within you, you must become what Grant calls a sponge. Being a sponge isn't just about absorbing everything around you. It's about the quality of what you take in and how you filter it. Sponges are proactive. They don't wait for information to come to them. They seek it out. They are obsessed with feedback, especially the kind of feedback that points out their flaws. In the context of mastering a language like English, being a sponge means immersing yourself in the discomfort of not knowing. It means listening more than you speak and being brave enough to ask for corrections. Grant explains that highly successful people aren't the ones who know everything, but the ones who are the most willing to learn from everyone. Your ability to absorb and adapt is the primary predictor of how far you will go in life. Chapter 3. The Imperfectionist's Advantage. One of the most profound chapters in Hidden Potential deals with the trap of perfectionism. Many of us stay stuck because we are afraid of looking foolish or making mistakes. Grant argues that perfectionists often underperform because they avoid the very risks necessary for growth. To reach your potential, you must become an imperfectionist. This doesn't mean you stop caring about quality. It means you prioritize learning over flawless execution. Grant shares the permission to fail concept, where the goal is to make a certain number of mistakes every day. When you realize that mistakes are not signs of weakness, but markers of progress, your fear disappears. For the English learner, this is the ultimate secret. The more you are willing to speak broken English today, the faster you will speak perfect English tomorrow. Chapter 4. Building the Scaffolding for Growth. Growth does not happen in a vacuum. It requires what Grant calls scaffolding. In architecture, scaffolding is a temporary structure that allows workers to reach places they couldn't otherwise. In life, your scaffolding consists of the mentors, the tools, and the environments you choose. Grant emphasizes that you don't need to do it all alone. The most successful people in history had systems of support that pushed them beyond their natural limits. This scaffolding is meant to be temporary. It helps you build the internal strength so that one day you can stand on your own. Your commitment to watching these videos, your daily practice, and your engagement with this community, this is your scaffolding. It is the system that will hold you up until your hidden potential becomes your visible reality. Chapter 5. The Power of Harmonious Passion. Why do some people keep going when others quit? Grant explores the difference between obsessive passion and harmonious passion. Obsessive passion is driven by the need for status or the fear of failure, and it often leads to burnout. Harmonious passion, however, comes from a place of joy and intrinsic curiosity. It is the love for the process itself, not just the result. When you have harmonious passion for learning English, you aren't just doing it for a job or a grade. You are doing it because you love discovering new ways to express yourself. Grant shows that when we find joy in the grind ceases to be a burden. Mastery becomes a side effect of our curiosity. To sustain a 45-minute deep dive into a book like this, you must tap into that harmonious passion, the part of you that simply loves to become wiser every day. Chapter 6. The Character Skills, the True Engine of Success. Most people mistake character for personality, but Adam Grant makes a crucial distinction. Personality is your basic predisposition, how you usually react to the world. Character, however, is your capacity to prioritize your values over your instincts. Grant argues that character skills are like muscles. They are developed through intentional practice. The most important character skill discussed is fortitude. It is the ability to maintain your resolve in the face of long-term challenges. In your journey to master English, fortitude is what keeps you practicing on days when you feel no progress is being made. Grant shows that people with high character skills can outperform those with higher IQs because they don't quit when the honeymoon phase of learning ends. They have the discipline to show up when it's boring, and that is where the hidden potential finally begins to surface. Chapter 7. Overcoming the Plateau, the Art of Deliberate Play. Every learner eventually hits a plateau, a flat line where it feels like you've stopped improving despite your efforts. Grant suggests that the way to break through a plateau isn't just more hard work, but deliberate play. When we are too serious, we become rigid and stressed, which blocks our creativity, and deliberate play involves introducing fun and novelty into the learning process. Instead of just memorizing vocabulary, you might watch a comedy or play a game in English. This reduces the affective filter and allows your brain to make new connections. Grant shares examples of world-class athletes and musicians who reached their peak because they never lost the sense of play. By making your learning journey enjoyable, you transform a grueling marathon into an inspiring adventure, allowing your hidden potential to bypass the mental blocks of boredom and frustration. Chapter 8. The Power of Teaching Others. One of the most effective ways to solidify your own potential is to share what you know. Grant discusses the tutor effect, where those who teach a subject actually learn it better than those who simply study it. When you explain a concept to someone else, you are forced to organize the information in a clear and logical way. This process reveals the gaps in your own understanding. For a fluent mind, this means you shouldn't wait until you are an expert to help others. Share a word you learned today with a friend, or explain a concept from this video to a colleague. By becoming a mentor to someone else, you accelerate your own mastery. Grant proves that the act of giving back creates a virtuous cycle of growth where everyone rises together and your own confidence grows alongside your competence. Chapter 9. Systems of Opportunity, Breaking Environmental Barriers. Success is not just about individual grit. It is also about the systems we inhabit. Grant looks at how schools, companies, and societies often fail to recognize hidden potential because they look at the wrong metrics. They look at past achievements instead of future trajectory. To unlock your potential, you must sometimes be the one to change your environment. If the people around you don't believe in growth, you must find a new tribe. This is why digital communities and channels like this are so vital. They provide a system of opportunity that might not exist in your immediate physical surroundings. Grant emphasizes that when we build environments that value growth over status, we uncover diamonds in the rough that the traditional world would have ignored. You have the power to seek out and create these systems for yourself. Chapter 10. The Long Game, Redefining the Finish Line. As we reach the conclusion of this deep dive, it's important to remember that potential is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Adam Grant reminds us that the goal isn't to reach a point where you stop growing. The most successful individuals are those who are always looking for the next mountain to climb. They don't see themselves as finished products. They see themselves as works in progress. Mastery of the English language, like mastery of life, is a lifelong commitment. Your hidden potential is like an onion. Every time you peel back a layer of achievement, you find another layer of potential waiting to be explored. Don't be discouraged by how far you have to go. Be inspired by how far you have already come. You are the architect, the sponge, and the imperfectionist. Your masterpiece is currently being written, one page at a time. Chapter 11. The Mechanics of Resilience. Grant delves deeper into the concept of resilience, explaining that it is not about bouncing back to who you were before a crisis. Instead, true resilience, the kind that unlocks hidden potential, is about bouncing forward. This means using every setback as a source of fuel for your next leap. When you struggle with a complex English grammatical structure or fail to understand a native speaker, you are in the resilience lab. Grant points out that the brain actually strengthens its neural pathways more during the struggle than during the easy wins. If you aren't struggling, you aren't growing. Your potential remains hidden until it is tested by the friction of difficulty. Embrace the hard days as the most productive days of your life. Chapter 12. High Windows and New Perspectives. A significant portion of the book is dedicated to how we evaluate others and ourselves. Grant uses the metaphor of high windows to describe how we often miss potential because we are looking at people from the wrong angle. In organizations and in our own self-assessment, we tend to focus on current performance. But performance is a snapshot. Potential is a movie. To see your own potential, you must stop looking at your current score and start looking at your rate of improvement. Even if you are starting from zero in English, a consistent 1% improvement every day creates an exponential curve that will eventually surpass those who started with a natural advantage but stayed stagnant. You must learn to be your own scout, looking for the sparks of progress that others might overlook. Chapter 13. The Collective Potential, Lifting While You Climb. One of the most moving parts of Grant's research is the idea that hidden potential is often unlocked through collective effort. He shares stories of teams that achieved the impossible not because they had the best individuals, but because they had the best cohesion. This teaches us that your growth as a fluent mind is amplified when you surround yourself with others who share your hunger. By contributing to discussions, helping fellow learners, and building a community, you create an environment where everyone's ceiling becomes everyone else's floor. Potential is not a zero-sum game. When you help someone else find their voice in English, you reinforce your own mastery and confidence. True greatness is never a solo journey. Chapter 14. The Discipline of Consistency over Intensity. Grant challenges the popular idea that massive, intense bursts of effort lead to greatness. Instead, he advocates for the discipline of consistency. Hidden potential is uncovered through the boring, repetitive, and daily actions that no one sees. It is the 10 minutes of reading, the 5 minutes of listening, and the one new word learned every single day. Intensity creates burnout. Consistency creates transformation. Grant compares this to the way a river carves a canyon, not through power, but through persistence. In the context of our 45-minute deep dive, this principle reminds us that the long-form content we consume today is a brick in the foundation of a massive empire we are building for tomorrow. Chapter 15, Final Reflection, The Architect's Blueprint. As we conclude this journey through hidden potential, Adam Grant leaves us with a final, powerful thought. Your potential is not a fixed capacity. It is a dynamic, ever-expanding horizon. You are the architect of your own growth. By choosing to be a sponge, embracing the imperfectionist mindset, building your scaffolding, and practicing deliberate play, you are doing more than just learning a language. You are proving that the human spirit is capable of radical evolution. Thank you for staying through this deep dive on Fluent Minds. Remember, the world may see you for who you are now, but we see you for who you are becoming. The journey doesn't end here. It begins with the very next action you take. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing. Your masterpiece is waiting.